This is your writer, Anthony L. Kelly, right here. Check it out. These are my books. Mac, Jaja, book, Sunshine. And this is my first book published, Saving Miss Caroline. And this is my latest, El Manic. Go check this book out, man. This is a nod at hip-hop on its 50th anniversary. This is a nod to one of the illest MCs to ever do it, Nasir Jones. This is me shedding the light on mental illness. I'll leave all the links in the description box. Salute to everybody who's ever supported me, man. Y'all go support your boy, Anthony L. Kelly. Check till next time. I'm out.
How's life been for you since the interview and just moving forward?
Man, it's been spooky. I've been thrown off YouTube maybe 2 or 3 times. I've been thrown off Instagram. I just recently got thrown off Patreon.
Damn.
Somebody don't want me to talk.
Why do you think that is, though? Like, well, I mean, if you can, to the best of your abilities, we don't want all your business out there, but why are they giving you these? What the reasons are they giving you for taking you off these platforms?
For the same reason that you saw Tucker Carlson got fired in one day, although Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon, they both made a lot of money, but they were fired.
Yeah.
So you guys own your own platform. You know, can't nobody fire you. I own my platform. Can't nobody fire me. So that independence. Yeah, it's not $12 million, but it's independent.
Yeah.
And so I've been preaching taking less. I've been preaching truck drivers because they can still speak like men. Mm-hmm. I grew up around construction workers. If you haven't had the pleasure of knowing or speaking to men that have 2 or 3 trades that they know they can't be fired, that they know that they can get hired somewhere else. If you haven't had the pleasure of understanding and being around men like that, then you don't understand men. Yes. Today's men are not men. They're being cloaked off and they're being suppressed by jobs and by company policy and by women. Mm-hmm. And I've been saying this for the longest. Company policy is ruining America. Groups are ruining America. There's certain things that you should not be able to do at work, but other things, it just don't make sense. I've known throughout just being a kid is common sense. You sleep with who you are around. Men didn't want their wives to go to work. It wasn't because they're trying to control their wife. It's because your wife is going to go get a work husband. Mm-hmm. You sleep with who you are around. Mm-hmm. Since I was a kid, I wasn't the most handsomest guy or whatever else. But if you put a girl around me and you let her deal with my funny and deal with whatever else, yeah. I'm just saying, you sleep with who you're around.
Yeah.
And we haven't figured that out yet. We're trying to make rules to stop human nature. Mm-hmm. If these women are not getting R-worded at work and things like that, you can't stop them from doing that. They're gonna always do that. And that's just quiet. They don't want to admit that, but that's what's gonna always happen. So I came to the internet speaking about the boys. We neglect our boys. We call these men kings. We call young black boys king.
Right.
But where do we see anything that resembles a king? Mm. The only thing that we respect is killers. Mm-hmm. That's it. We respect the street cats and the killers. If a young man say, I'm going to walk this path alone, I'm going to be a Christian, I'm going to be a good man, I'm going to be a good father, he's going to be treated like a lamb. He's going to be treated like I don't want to curse on your
do your thing, brother.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. BAN. We know what that means. That's what we should be treated like. And we got to stop that culture that we have now. Is a culture that in about 2 more generations, we're going to have a generation of kids that don't have skills. They don't want to work. They watch mama either get money from men or get money from government or work for the government. So they know how to be worker bees, but they don't know how to create. They don't know how to make decisions. The main thing I stay on my son about is, boy, you letting your mama be too strong. She dictating everything you say and do. How you gonna lead a woman? What you gonna call your mama and ask her what to do with your wife?
Right. Word up.
It's one thing to love and respect mama. It's another thing to let her live her life and your life at the same time. And a lot of these kids are allowing that to happen.
Right. Yeah, you made some strong videos about Phil Jackson. You know, can you talk about that and expound on that when him pretty much not wanting to watch or be involved with the NBA because he said it's too political now?
I barely want to watch. It's all virtue signaling. It's a strip. It's a script. We want LeBron James and the Lakers because LeBron James is the leader of the NBA.
Right.
They're not going to not have LeBron in the playoffs. It's big business. We got to understand that it's business. And so to have guys that make $30 million kneel on the ground, to me, it's an insult. But for the people who built Black Wall Street, for the ancestors who built Black Wall Street, they had less and they did more. You got guys that are promised $200 and $300 million. And instead of getting up and creating hedge funds with the guys that's on their team, they're kneeling down and going to the strip club. This is all virtue signaling.
Yeah.
America is for sale. Cabrini Green got sold. White people control it. They're walking dogs all around Cabrini Green. I know people get mad at the jokes that I make, but I'm telling the truth. You guys are in New York. Brooklyn has been regentrified. White folks can walk shih tzus up the street without being shot. You guys couldn't.
Yeah.
They just sold O-Block. They're strategically putting Black people in places that they run the property value down with violence. White people are buying it up, and then moving you to another neighborhood to do the same thing. And it's all spin-off of money. When you shoot and you kill, you're going to jail. The prison, the pipeline system is real, and it's alive because we want to be slaves. We keep saying slavery was the worst thing in the world. Your 13th Amendment, when you get arrested, you are a slave.
Right.
We want to be slaves. We glorify slavery. Everybody who goes to jail and is a criminal, he's a real nigga. I guarantee you next year, they're going to come out with another street documentary highlighting some Black dude who came from poverty, that some white dude or some Spanish dude gave them money, or the government gave them drugs. They sold it. They was allowed to sell it for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
They destroyed and desecrated your community. And then that person goes to jail. They make movies out of it. The person who went through the movie don't make no money. The white folks make all the money. We're here to be the cattle that they make money off of. Where's the Black distribution? We always talk about Wakanda. Show me somewhere that Black people can go and distribute their Black stuff on a Black network. We got Oprah, we got P. Diddy, we got Jay-Z, we got Beyonce, we got all these people we so happy about that they got money.
Right.
They know better than to spend money in the places that will help change Black folks. They go build a school to virtue signal. What happens at those schools? They're being indoctrinated. They're not being taught to go compete with Grant Cardone. They're not being taught to go compete with Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. They're not being taught that. They're being taught to go buy chains. They're being taught to throw money in the air. In our Black community, what looks good and what looks rich to us is shiny and gold. That's all they give us is glitz and glamour, shiny and gold. They don't give you the guy that go get a bunch of cement trucks and his cement business is killing.
Right.
He makes $1 million a year. They give you the guy that's having sex with a bunch of women and spending $2-3 million a year to do so. That's fail at the end of the day. And so all of our community is being taught liabilities and fail. You got guys that make $30-40 million and no one competes with Grant Cardone. You have Devin George, who's doing a great thing. The NBA don't highlight Devin George. The NBA doesn't highlight Jamal Mashburn. I want you guys to go look up the business that Jamal Mashburn, a former NBA player, has done. They will never highlight Jamal Mashburn, but they'll highlight when John Morant brings a gun to a strip club. They'll highlight that. The average athlete, after 5 years of playing in the NBA, making millions of dollars, they go broke. The NBA has a slogan that says NBA cares. Why haven't they rectified that situation? When most former athletes work in the back of a warehouse or they're driving trucks for some trucking company because they're hiding from society now because you guys look at them as some celebrity.
Yeah, seen that real quick. Jamal Mashburn owns over 80 franchises.
Say that one more time, brother.
Jamal Mashburn owns over 80 franchises from what I'm looking at.
So if the NBA cares and you know that the average of 5 years that most athletes go broke, why isn't Jamal Mashburn front headlining center at the NBA meetings on TV teaching these players financial literacy? Most NBA players have no business. You just saw D'Angelo Russell try to show the relationship that he had with a business. He tried to show the drink, because think about it. They control your likeness. I wasn't wrong about anything I said when I first came out. The NBA, they control your likeness. That's money. And when you go and try to make a deal outside of the NBA, you can't show a product. Imagine how many, like when boxers fight, they could put a billboard on their back while they're fighting. So because so many people get to view that, the viewership, that boxer gets paid. So if an NBA player was allowed to put things on his jersey, things on his shoes, just go into a post-game interview with their product, that NBA player would make that money. But that's not going to happen in the NBA. They're going to make sure they control your money.
Yep.
You spoke on John Morant, and I wanted to bring that up because that was a good point. As far as influence, like you mixed everything in kind of perfect how I wanted to even articulate the question, because you see, obviously, that young brother's influenced by hip hop culture, the violence, the glitz, the glamour of it. He's not a bad dude. He was raised in a good household. I mean, his father's sitting courtside every day. His brother's not just the street dude that they try to portray him to be, but that's the influence. If he were to go out and promote, like Kyrie did, or like we see Jamal Mashburn's doing, or D'Angelo Russell, how do you think that NBA star would be looked at if he were to, in fact, kind of switch it around and not go by the influence that are forcing him to do the things and act out the way he is, but actually went and promote? And eventually he might. He's 22, 23 years old. He's still learning. But what do you think about that aspect on how a lot of these young athletes are influenced by the negative culture that is being disseminated to us through hip hop, music, whatever the case may be?
It's a gift and a curse, because the reason why we like John Morant, because he looks like the culture. He looks like one of your kids. He looks like a neighbor of yours. But most of these kids only want to see somebody crash out. And if John Morant stay on the path that he's on, he's going to crash out.
Yeah.
To me, in our community, we have a economic envy of black people. It's okay for a white guy to have a Rolls Royce. Johnny Depp can ride around in a Rolls Royce in any neighborhood, won't nobody rob him. Yeah. But if you and I ride around in certain neighborhoods, it's internalized as we're stunting on you. I'm trying to show out. I need to give back somehow. I could be giving back by just, the reason why I wanted to be successful is because I saw black strong men be successful, and they told me, I'm not giving you anything. I'm gonna give you the game. I'm gonna tell you how to get what I got. Because in order for you to be a man, you don't take from another. You don't try to be like another. You look at the good aspects of any man, and you can mimic those good qualities. Like Floyd Mayweather. I mean, I can't compete with the dedication that he has, but a guy used to get out of a car while coming back from a club, and he would run home.
Yeah.
This guy was dirt. He grew up dirt poor. And that's what white folks have learned, that grind and that struggle from a kid that grew up dirt poor. Floyd Mayweather, he doesn't do everything right, but if you look at the way he committed himself to a sport to change his life, Floyd Mayweather bought skyscrapers. He bought strip clubs. That's the reason why they want him to look a certain way. This is a professional boxer. If you Google Floyd Mayweather, he's the face of domestic violence. If you Google Floyd Mayweather, domestic violence comes up first. Yeah. And I didn't see one scar on this woman. This is a boxer that I seen put people to bed.
Yep.
When he was Pretty Boy Floyd, he was knocking everybody out, had the highest knockout ratio. But then he gets into an argument with his baby mother that he allegedly want her to run the household like a man wants to. Don't have your friends over. Don't have my house in disarray. I'm paying for everything. And because he's famous, you can use his fame against him. Has anybody seen a picture of, and God rest her soul, have anybody seen a picture of any bruises on his ex-wife or his ex-girl?
Nope.
We watched Dana White slap a woman, his wife, in the face twice.
Yeah.
And no one said anything. There's not a coalition of white women trying to cancel him. There's not a coalition of white women acting like because one woman got slapped, that they all got slapped. What they do to us black men is that they placate towards the emotion of our black women. They've been through a lot. They've had men cheat on them. They had men do a lot of things. And so if Floyd Mayweather slaps his wife, then now he slapped every black woman in the world.
Yeah. Wow.
Dana White is business as usual. He has a slap league, gentlemen.
Yeah, that's a fact.
The week following him slapping his wife, he
Yeah.
hosted a slap league event.
Damn.
He did not lose one sponsor.
That's deep.
If you could show me a sponsor that Dana White lost, then I'll say I stand corrected. He didn't lose one sponsor.
Nor was there any report of him losing any. It was nothing. That's right.
So us men, we are in a spin cycle. We can never find peace. That's why I'm buying a boat. You just got to get away.
Yes,
because when you survive the hood, you survive all of these negative things. And then now when you become successful, you have to survive the judgment of everybody wanting to tell you how to think, how to talk, how to walk. Like, I don't succumb to that. That's why I came to the internet the way I did. I came rude. I came aggressive. I came how our culture is, disrespectful as hell, so that we could be embarrassed by what we pay for. I can't play the radio in the car with my kids.
Right.
Can you play the radio in the car with your kids? I damn sure wouldn't play the radio in the car with my daughters. Throat Baby is gonna come on soon.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a fact, though. Yeah, that's a fact.
So we have a culture and who's paying for our music?
White
Kanye
folk.
West alluded to it. We know exactly who did it. We ain't gonna say it on here, but we know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the people that are paying for our rappers and athletes to say and do certain things will destroy your life if you say and do those things about their people.
That's a fact. Wow.
So why are we willfully participating in our own destruction? Why do we have our strongest, richest black men kneeling down instead of standing up? You have AD, LeBron James, Russell Westbrook on the same team. Look up those salaries. Look up those salaries alone. And you talking about Black Wall Street? Just look up those salaries.
Man, that's deep. Talk about the media aspect of it. Somebody like a Stephen A. Smith, who a lot of times says some good things, but a lot of time he attacks a lot of different people. You know, these brothers a lot. Do you think he's being used, or do you think that he has to do that in order to maintain his position?
That's the biggest trick that they've ever done. They've employed smart people that can really talk and really sway the masses. They take their voices. They pay for their voices. He makes $12 million. This is a guy who's really not skilled in anything. He was fired by ESPN. He found a niche. He talks in a certain way. He yells in a certain way about black male athletes. That's the only thing we like him for. And I just think the way that some of these people talk, Roland Martin, Stephen A. Smith, some of these people are very intelligent. They can sell you ice. If you're a refrigerator, some of these people can sell you ice. Mm-hmm. So you cannot believe some of the things they say. Look at their real life. Roland Martin is entwined with white folks all over the place. So you can't look at these people and what they're saying as face value. Even Tucker Carlson, when you saw the private text messages, he don't even like Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. Allegedly, but on the show, he acts like he likes Donald Trump. So when I came to the internet, people don't like it. I said there's some script reading bitches. That might not be appropriate. That might not be the nice way to say it, but they're definitely script readers. Steven Jackson disrespected Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas is a legend.
Absolute legend.
We love Michael Jordan, and it's okay to love Michael Jordan. He's one of the best players that ever graced the game. Ever laced it up, but it's not even a comparison of who done more for the game. They vilify Isaiah Thomas because they know what he meant to the game. They didn't want to give us private planes. They didn't want to have us riding the right way. It's NBA players eating Ruth Chris steak, Fleming steaks on private planes after the game. That is solely one of the reasons that is because of Isaiah Thomas in the work that he did with the Players Association. Steven Jackson went on all the smoke. Now, I know that they say I'm a bust. So they say I was just mad and I was just jealous that I was a bust. Isaiah Thomas is a Hall of Famer.
Top 50 all time.
Top 50 all time.
Yep.
Directly responsible for the reason why us as NBA players get to ride the way we ride, make the money that we were able to make. And Steven Jackson forgot that this guy is the guy who saved his career. Steven Jackson had the malice in the palace. He got ran over by a car in Indiana. And after those two situations, David Stern threw him out of the league. He calls Al Harrington, who put him in touch with Isaiah Thomas. But what does he do? He gives all the credit to Al Harrington, as if Al Harrington is the one who got him reinstated. And that's only because he's friends with Al Harrington. So it's all about who we like. He was if you go pull up that video, for a man who was laughing the way he was laughing at Isaiah Thomas not being Michael Jordan's friend, you would think Isaiah Thomas did something to that guy. He was the main one. And I'm like, whoa, all of us know the story.
Yeah.
This is the guy you laughing at? You were supposed to be like Matt Barnes. He was supposed to be sitting there like, I ain't got nothing to do with what Oak's saying, but I'm not going to laugh. Since when you have a radio show that large and you're laughing at guests that could potentially be on your show?
Man.
So it's like they only get hired to do one thing. Gilbert Arenas, Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, all of them have criminal records. All of them are violent. All of them. Damn. What they said about me and my family, where's my violent record? I don't have it. I only get violent when provoked. I'm a man. I do what men are supposed to do. I'm a nice guy until provoked. But if you look at Gilbert Arenas, he's a convicted felon. You look at Steven Jackson, he shot a gun at a club. He went to jail. He got in all kind of trouble. But these are the guys they put up. Matt Barnes just tried to spit on a man at a football game.
Dang.
Saw that too. Let me ask you this: in the discrepancy between athletes that go into the media and almost forget as though they were athletes at one point. Now, I seen you do an interview with the Pivot Podcast. Salute to them brothers, Fred Taylor, Chaney Crowder, and my man Ryan Clark. And that seemed to be done very well. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong on that. From what it looked like, it seemed like it was done very well. But then you got certain athletes that just don't understand. It seemed like they want to go all the way media and forget that they were athletes at one point and give that side to the story, the side that's needed. So what do you think about athletes that kind of transition into the media and things that are done wrong and things that are done right?
They care about their money over the brotherhood and being an athlete. Because the fact that I'm an athlete, I'm going to have access to you more so than everybody else.
Yeah.
But if I want to go viral, it's better for me to disrespect you than it is to respect you. Yeah. You know what I mean? I can go viral by talking about any one of these athletes. I shared locker rooms with them. I've been in clubs with them. I can go viral every day with just the stories I've seen. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't put them out there like that. I only come after the people that disrespect me. But the athletes that do that, I would just say that you can critique a player without disrespecting them. You don't have to do that. You don't have to make it a viral moment. What is this thing about going viral? Just be honest, respect the man as a man, and then leave it at that.
So what do you think about like JJ? What's my man? JJ Redick, a Big Perk, other athletes that come on that play basketball and they give their commentary. Do you think that it's fair commentary, even though they're being paid by ESPN? Do you think that they do a good job? Or like, what do you think about those type of basketball players? In my opinion, I ain't never played ball or anything like that, nowhere close to where you did. But it seemed like they try to be as objective as possible, even kind of going against the grain of what Stephen A. sometimes throws out there.
Yeah, I think sometimes they do a good job. JJ Redick challenged a lot of things. He's going to have his own opinion. Big Perk, he's an old country boy. A lot of the stuff, I think he's mimicking too much of Stephen A.'s personality.
Okay.
Being that you laced him up, you played this game, you wasn't the best at it, you should talk with a little more respect. I've always been fair and honest about my approach in the game. It's a pecking order. Charles Barkley, Shaq, Michael Jordan, those guys they have a longer leash to say certain things because they put in that type of work. Now, should they say it in a respectful way? Yeah, I didn't like when Shaq was doing that Shaqing a fool. White folks are laughing at another black brother who you're inhibiting him from taking care of his mother because you're making him out to be this silly joke.
Yeah.
And they don't do this with any other profession. Being a basketball player is one of the hardest things you can do. You have to overcome a lot of pitfalls and obstacles and things like that. It's a lot of mental anguish. That's why Giannis in 2020 or something like that, where he's at the height of his game, he thought about retiring.
Yep.
So it's something to be said about that. Michael Jackson, God rest his soul, he's taking medicine just to go to sleep.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be happy about having that type of money, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people tell you. But the most happiest people you don't know anything about, they have enough money to live, they have enough money, enough food to eat, and they have a woman that loves them. And that's what we should be inspiring to in life. We shouldn't be, we have the whole world watching the 1%, when the whole trick is to get you to spend money that you don't really have. We always say we don't have no money. I was just talking to some guys about this today. They was like, man, you talking from a position because you got the money. I said, listen, I'm walking living proof that you wrong. I challenged one of my homeboys with this. I told him, I said, what do you do every year with your income tax? He got $5,000 his first year. Next year, he got $7,000. And the other year, he got $9,000. Every year, he was buying liabilities. He was buying cars, chains, Jordans, and every one of us get a lump sum at the end of the year for his income tax. But nobody's on the courthouse step trying to buy somebody's tax debt. Nobody's trying to buy no property. Nobody's trying to buy no land to supplement their income. And I'm not telling you what to do with your money, but what I'm saying is, instead of you seeking the liability first, seek the residual income in order to buy the liability. It's very simple. If you have residual income coming in, which he saved his income tax for 3 years, and he was able to buy 2 houses. And because he saved his income tax for 3 years, I matched it. I was like, nigga, I appreciate your grind. I see what you did. I'm matching that.
That's what's up.
And so he was able to buy 3 or 4 houses. And then the money I gave him, he was able to fix those houses without going to get a loan from the bank. So now he's to the good.
That's what's up, man.
That's dope. Hell yeah.
What's your issue with I don't know how old the audio was. I heard something with Vlad TV. On YouTube. I don't know if it was recently or new, but what was the issue with Vlad TV if you want to get into that?
Well, it's recent. What they've been doing is they've been trying to, for a long time, for about 2.5 years, Vlad TV allegedly has been linking my channel and funneling my views away from me. It'll be my viral moment that goes viral, but he'll link it to a Forgotten Kings TV. He'll link it to self-talk.
Yeah.
So when you have 5 million subscribers and somebody told you to go listen to what Kwame said, but go listen to it on this channel. He doesn't say go listen to it on Kwame Brown Bust Life. He directs self-talk.
We know how that game goes with them.
Yeah.
They do it
all because I turned down an interview.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm looking to get his number and have a conversation with him. I'm not trying to get brolic or anything like that. But like I told him, I just gave my opinion on you as a man. I think the questions that you ask get brothers arrested or get killed. I think I called him a couple curse words here and there, but he can call me a couple curse words. But the one thing I didn't do is directly try to take money out of his pocket. I just gave my opinion.
So why did you turn down the interview initially, and why you want to go now?
I just don't see. I don't want to go to do an interview. I just want to have a conversation with him behind the scenes because I think that's disrespectful. I don't think I need an interview with a Vlad TV. I don't see anything positive that comes out of it.
Yeah.
He don't ask questions. Why haven't he interviewed Jamal Mashburn? He saw Devin George on my page. Devin George has done more than most NBA players. He's able to develop a community that serves the community. The people actually in the community work where they live. That means you have the ability to see your kids come to your kids come home. He has a center to where they're studying and learning. The parents can come down and they're downstairs at work. So it's a sustainable community. And he didn't have to cry. He didn't have to kneel down. He didn't have to beg. He didn't have to join some organization that control his mind. He just used his resources and he built something that worked. And I just don't understand why we won't build something that worked. We've been doing the same thing for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. We've watched old civil rights tapes of men getting hit in the back of their head. and marching and shouting. So at this point, why won't we use the resources that we have and become like the people who are successful? If we can't study the Asian community, the community that their money does like this in their community, why don't ours? Why is Chinese people selling us chicken?
Real shit.
Everybody sells us everything.
Yeah.
We won't buy nothing from our own people. Black women wear weave all the time. Why isn't black women the #1 seller of weave?
That's a fact. Nail salons and all that. That's a fact.
Black men, we drink Hennessy, we drink liquor. Why are we going to get liquor companies or whatever you want to get? Why are you not the leader of nothing? We're not the leader of anything, but we're the leader of spending the most money. We keep claiming we don't have money, we don't have this. How are we at the top of spending all our money then?
And competing with one another when we get the money. And that brings me to my next point. You brought up Vlad, and one thing that I see that we see here is like, okay, he can ask a certain particular set of questions, but you alluded to it earlier. If we were to ask those same questions,
oh man, y'all will be out.
FBI agent, they be threatening to try to harm us, kill us, all that stuff. We know the game. We don't even play that. But
please don't ask questions like that. It'll be 30 Negroes outside, y'all.
We're not even built like that, like comfortable enough to even ask a brother about shit like that. It's not built like that. But you talk about how, like, you got this one hip hop platform, and obviously he's doing his thing, and we have complaints about him. But then we have other platforms that if we were to just come together, we could really create something huge and really do it the right way. But we're so steady competing with one another. There was an interview done with $1 million worth of game in the Breakfast Club. I don't know if you've seen that. And they were talking about money and figures, and it just seemed like a real big braggadocious event. We're going to say, okay, I got a bigger contract than you. I got more money than you, this, that, and the third. And it's like, well, damn, first off, there's enough money out here for all of us to eat. So why aren't we helping each other go out and eat if there's enough for all of us? But why are we so consumed? Even in the highest point of our careers, you got 4 brothers that were on that platform yesterday that are all good, but still laughing and trying to get on the next person that's just a little bit below them. Why do you think we have that kind of mentality towards each other, even at the height of our success?
Because we validate ourselves through sex. And so we're going to peacock. Most of us black men, we peacock for women. And so and I said this before, we like to stand on each other's shoulders. We want to make another brother look small to make ourselves look big. And what we did was monumental. I have a song about you guys with your title. You know what I mean? And, you know what I mean? We was able to argue or disagree for a year. Ain't nobody get hit. Ain't nobody get shot. This is our second interview. You know what I mean? And a lot of men don't have that emotional intelligence to be able to be like, you know what? Did he say something to me to the point to where I want to do something violent and risk my life? There's a lot of variables that can happen when you talk about getting violent. You can go to prison, you can lose your life, anything can happen. So I don't think the ego has to calm down. We have to stop the real nigga shit. That's why I say I'm a sidewalk nigga. And there's cracks in that sidewalk, and I'm very good on the sidewalk. But the street rules, I won't play them. I won't participate. These dudes that claim to be for us, Steven Jackson invited me to playing in traffic. And I said, my response was, yo, my son be in my car. You guys said we was joking. This is how beef start. And it take one little small thing like that to where men have been talking about me for 20 years. He brought me up on a podcast where I hadn't played basketball in over 10 years. I took offense to it. I call his line. He get online, disrespect me. I disrespect him back online. Now we got to play in traffic. The guy who was disrespected the most, you want to kill him now? And this is how us as a black culture, this is why white folks will always win. Because if I was JJ Redick and I responded back to what he said, then he would respond back with an interview. He would never go enlist young black people to say, let's go play in traffic. And see, that's how we have a generation of death. That's why we have a culture of death. Because what does he think going to happen if he do something to me?
There's only 2 things that could happen. Neither one of them are good for anybody.
So I don't get it. When these guys talk so final, you've never heard me talk so final. The worst thing I'll say is I'll make myself available. I done got beat up before. I'll make myself available. You can choke me out, beat me up, whatever going to happen. But guess what? I get to go home. If you got it on your mind like that, I can meet you at whatever gym you got. You can laugh. You can put it on. You can put it on YouTube. I don't give a damn. But I get to go home to them babies though.
That's a fact.
And a lot of these men ain't men. You know what I mean? Like, how many men that talk all that talk, you get a chance to see them vulnerable? You know, I looked you up a little bit. Oh God, no. Which one? Hold on. Wait a minute. I done got y'all confused. One of you guys do jujitsu or jujitsu. That's
Yeah, that was,
okay.
yeah,
So I looked you up and I said, okay, I didn't even know this guy do jujitsu, but half of the men that would argue with you online, they're gonna get choked out.
Yep.
And that happens in practice.
Yep.
You get to see that every day in practice, men being vulnerable. So these guys that's just talking and hiding in groups, you already know they faking.
Mm-hmm.
I took my son to the gym. I've been a part of those gyms. You're gonna get choked out. It's somebody in there that's a better dog than you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you have to learn to be humble. You have to learn to accept when you win. You have to learn to accept when you lose. And it builds character. You're not gonna go run and get a gun if you lose because you done lost before.
Yep.
I'm not gonna go run and get no gun because I done lost before. This ain't nothing.
Yeah.
I'll get you over there that's laughing though. That's the way it worked. Men used to be men. That's just the way it worked. I don't know what done happened to us where we're so hypersensitive that now everything is so final. It's never final with me. And that's why I came on. I apologize to you guys. And that's why when I gave you my number, I said, man, hit me up and we could do it anytime. That's why I made sure I canceled that flight because I'm like, I want to make sure these brothers know that I'm not going to be the stereotype that they tried to make me. That's me defending every person who had a voice and who live in righteous and doing the right thing. And they try to steal their image. They steal their character. And that's why I said most people that they tell you not to like, those are the people you should take a second look at. I'm not going to tell you to like them. Yeah. Just take a second look at them.
Well said.
And I got a two-part question. First, the Charlamagne, the article came out the other day that he was trying to get that case that he had in South Carolina dismissed.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about that? What's your thoughts on that? Whatever happened with Jessica Reed? I think you did an interview with her.
Yeah, Jessica Reed. She did something. With what's her name? God dog it.
Not Tasha K.
Tasha K. Yeah, she did an interview with Tasha K. She has stuff going on with Tasha K. She, of course, she's supposed to. She trusts a black woman, and so they want to get traction around the situation with Charlamagne the God because this young lady was, from my knowledge, she was a minor, and she wasn't able to make. Oh shit!
What?
Stage. Okay, there it is. Somebody threw me backstage. Okay, but now that she's an adult woman, from what I heard her say, she just wants to see him off the radio so she don't have to relive what she feels that she relived. I know the technical stuff is that it was a lesser charge and all this other stuff, but if that young lady is right about what she's saying. Mm-hmm. And we are literally watching people turn the other way, like I said they would do, if that person is valuable and making money for a greater cause. And Charlamagne the God makes money for a lot of people. And who is one little black girl to the people that he makes money for? They're only going to attack the people if they're not making no money, and that's my opinion.
Right?
Because this young lady has her mother. And everybody surrounding this situation knows what happened. But because of one technicality, allegedly, this young man is walking free. And not only is he free, he's able to be a part. This guy was a part of the R. Kelly documentary. Imagine that. Mm-hmm. With an allegation like that would cancel anybody else. That would at least make you not be able to be a part of this. He was able to be a part of the R. Kelly documentary with an allegation like that on him. You can look up a court document where he pled to a lesser charge. So there's some smoke there.
Right. Now, when you guys were going through it, did you get a cease and desist or anything from him or anything happened?
I never got it. He said he sent it, but I never got it. I wasn't going to pay attention to that anyway. Because, I never spoke your name, and you brought up my father, you brought up my sister, you brought up my brother. and you did that on a syndicated radio station with millions of subscribers. What did I do to you to make that first move?
Yeah.
So go on with your move and sue me, and then we're gonna have a field day with you.
Right. And then they offer you to come into the Breakfast Club too?
They offered me to come this is a peculiar thing about some of these elite shows is that they disrespect you first, and then they want you to come and respect them and come sit down and talk.
Okay.
I was offered to box Matt Barnes at a studio via email and then do an interview after. I'm like, wait a minute. So I'm going to knock you out and then we're going to do an interview? Like, that's not going to happen. Like, this don't even make sense. Like, you guys have been in this bad boys club for so long, you don't know how to be respectful to grown men. They don't know how to greet a man with respect because he can kill you. And I look at every man, I don't care how tall you are. You could be 5'1", you could be 7'8". Mm-hmm. You're a potential killer to me.
Yeah.
And if you disrespect certain men in a certain way, that could be the end of your life. So I don't make it my business running around disrespecting men. I don't pretend like just because I got some sort of money or status that's going to make me somehow protected. And it never works out that way. The guys who get that ego in their system and they think that's what makes them manly by having a bunch of dudes that protect them, they never are protected. So I don't understand the way our men are moving now. I just think we're moving with a feminine energy.
Well said. I want to get your thoughts on, and I don't think I saw it. Jonathan Majors. Now, a couple months ago, this brother was on top of the world. You talk about Ant-Man, you talk about Creed. He had Devotion out. He's talking about doing this, not Sam Cooke, Otis Redding documentary. Brother's on fire, right? He comes out with the Ebony shoot. We have some criticism toward that because it seemed like it kind of made him a lot less manly. I'll put it that way. And then the allegations come out and his whole world shifts and turns around. None of it being proven, all alleged right now. Now he's losing sponsors. He's losing movie deals. He may lose Ant-Man bags out left and right. His brother's losing. You know what I mean? So what do you think about the whole Jonathan Major situation in the last 3 or 4 months? How he was on top and how he just kind of just went down of a blink of an eye all through an allegation.
In my opinion, he thought he could tiptoe and play with the situation at hand. A lot of these heterosexual men are now starting to do things that teeter on the fence of homosexuality because they want to appease a crowd that they know has a lot of money. But my cousin is gay. My cousin, you can go look him up. He's the real super bitch on the internet. That's my first cousin. Super gay, super like whatever. And he's still a man though. He'll whoop your ass. He'll fight your head up. He believes in masculinity. He's a man. He understands those values. So I have no problem with gay people at all. That's my first cousin. But a lot of these men are trying to find an easy passage, and then that group play for keeps. You can't be dressed up like he was dressed up. And then the first thing I thought was, what did he say no to?
Damn.
Because if you look at the way the industry worked, I said no to a DJ VLAD interview and look at what has been going on. There's been a lot of behind the scenes situations I found out that large YouTubers actually have partnerships with YouTube and they can actually control other pages. And so I came to YouTube by storm and that didn't make a lot of people happy. You know, I allowed a lot of people to use my content, make money off my content. There was people that was making $20,000 a month by just uploading a video that I uploaded.
Yeah. Yep, that's a fact.
And so a lot of people don't like that. And the only reason why I did that is because I wanted to show people how they monopolize black males, show them the power of a black male. There's so many black males that change their whole trajectory of their family, but they give the credit to a woman. They tried to give the credit to my mother. My mother wouldn't accept the responsibility of that credit because she knew the grind that I took. She knew that I was the one sitting out on that porch from 5 to 5:30 so that I can go get a check that give it to her. So when you have a young man, as a woman, when you have a young man that's showing that type of dedication, don't take the credit for it. You know, let them see your son as the great, excellent king that he is, that no matter the situation, you instilled in this boy values that he's going to exemplify to the world. And a lot of women are walking with ego. They take the credit away from their boys but they raise their daughters tough. A lot of women are way tougher than men because women, they really prepare their daughters for life. They tell them everything. The boys, they're being coddled. They're getting free shoes. They're getting free PlayStations. I don't give my son shit. You're not gonna get no PlayStation unless you go do something for it.
Word.
That PlayStation is almost $400. Now I know where you can get $400. Do you want to know? If you don't, then you ain't getting no PlayStation. And I was raised up under those values, but me being a celebrity, I'm just supposed to go get it because I'm his daddy. And I just won't succumb to those social constructs. In order to raise a man, he has to have tests. You can't just call him a protector if he can't fight. What the fuck is he gonna protect? I'm a protector. Like,
right.
No, did you go to boxing? Did you do your rounds in sparring? Did you roll on the mat? What did you do to be this thing called a protector?
Right.
And a lot of these men, when you peel back the onion, they've done nothing but listen to a women tell them what they are.
I wanted to ask you this. I've seen LeVar Ball talking. I think this is right after his son just made an announcement that he has a child coming in. Congratulations to that family.
No,
but he would say, but he said that like NBA, he particularly talked about NBA stars, but I want to talk about athletes in general. You walk into the NBA, you're a single man, right? You don't have a woman that's been through the grind, watched you struggle, watched you grind and get to this, to understand and appreciate the work you put in. Automatically see dollar signs. He said NBA athletes will never find real women. They will only find hoes once they get to that point. Can athletes walk into a situation where they come up with this abundance of income and find real love after they get into that situation?
Yeah, I agree with him to a certain aspect, but I disagree with him because his son was looking in the place that everybody else was looking in. Everybody's fishing in the same pond on Instagram.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I mean, you've seen this woman's track record. That was a father that was lashing out at a son who made a bad decision. And that same son has made a couple of bad decisions. As you can see, he had to get the president to pardon him from some things that he did or stealing some things he did overseas, allegedly.
Yeah.
And so when you have a son that make bad decisions like that, we all know how this is going to end. Had he been at a coffee shop, and this is where I fault the athletes. They don't know how to use their gift of gab. You can't meet women at the club and the strip club and all this and thinking you're going to meet a person of your dreams.
Right.
Why are you not at a coffee shop where you can engage a woman back and forth, where you can understand where she's trying to go in life? What are her goals, her dreams? And then you can understand if that's a deal that you're willing to accept. Most athletes, most rappers, they're only talking to girls at the club. You can't talk to them. You can't hear nothing but the music. All you trying to do is make sure she have enough fun so y'all can go back and have fun.
And get working. Yep, you know.
Yeah, and when the fun is over, reality hit.
Yeah.
Now that reality hit, and then we're so toxic at how we mate with each other. By the time reality hit, a baby's here.
Dang.
Now you done did all this fun with a stranger. You got a baby. And then you want marriage results out of this stupid shit. It's not going to work that way. So once I changed my person, places, and things, and where I decided to meet women at, I met a different quality of woman. Does that mean that they're perfect? No. But does that mean that they can take care? Most of these women can't even take care of themselves. And I'm not coming at women. Most men can't either. So no matter the degree, I found a lot of educated broke women, and I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to come at women at all, but I know a lot of overworked PhD women that are Sally Mae BMW payments, $3,000 or $3,500 house payments, and everything gone. Yeah. So I can see how society puts pressure on women. Either A, to get married, or B, be the most successful workhorse you can be. So to me, if a woman doesn't get married, she just goes out and work the shit out of herself, and then she'll place that over a husband, and that's not real success. Like, no matter how much money I've made, when I'm lonely or when I'm single, I never feel complete. You can only feel complete with a companion. Now, whether that's through marriage or whether that's through a long-term girlfriend, whatever deal that you make, you're not made here to be alone. So the people that's telling you they good by themselves, they lying like a motherfucker.
Yeah,
that's a
for
fact.
sure.
That's a fact.
Okay.
We appreciate you, Kwame Brown, on the Hip Hop Uncensored
Yeah.
podcast. We got a few more minutes left, and before we get up out of here, brother, I would love for you to promote anything you got going on, promote your YouTube platform, or anything else you would like to add. The floor is yours. Do you think?
Man, I ain't got nothing going on. I'm a bust. They finally got me. I just want Gilbert Arenas to know they took everything from me. I'm broke, and just leave me alone, man. You know, I'm happy with the labels. Nah, let me stop. I got a docu series coming out. We're gonna be casting for that. We're gonna turn it into a book as well. I'm buying a boat so I can get on the water. I'm a Pisces, so I can stay away. My Patreon, I would blast my Patreon off, but it was taken down, so I got to figure that out. But make sure y'all sub up to my backup channel, Kwame Brown Bust Life 2.0. And then my main channel is Kwame Brown Bust Life. If y'all didn't notice, I have people coming at me all the time asking me, do I still do YouTube? Because they think that my YouTube page is over.
Yeah.
Because they get no notifications at all. So this thing called the algorithm is a real thing. And once they take you out of it, they have to like type in your name manually.
Yeah.
And they know most people are not going to do that. So, but I appreciate you guys for giving me the platform, man. And I'm going to keep most of the stuff I'm doing a little bit quiet because I want it to be a surprise. But I'm proud of the docuseries that we got coming out. I'm proud of the book that we got coming out. I'm also proud that we're taking down over 200 places that have been selling Bust Life and Mama's Cooking merch throughout Amazon, TikTok. I'm supposed to be a bust. But
Tell us more about that. That's crazy.
Everything that I've said on YouTube, people have been filing what's called an intent to use. So my Mama's Cooking, when I tried to go get the trademark, I got it now, but when I first initially went to get the trademark, this is how the trickery of the media works. I'm one little old bust that they'll tell you out in public I'm a bust, but everybody's selling everything that's surrounding my name. They're monopolizing my name. I had to fight to get Mama's Cooking back. Had to fight to get Bust Life back. They're selling hats. They're selling cups. They're selling mugs. They're selling pins. They're selling everything. It was the most bankable thing in the world because women are the key ingredient to raise strong children. If you have a woman that's doing what she has to do to put her kids first, those are going to be the most successful kids you're going to find.
Right.
And if you have a man there to assist with the protection and the things of that nature and making sure it's a solid unit, these are the most successful kids. And it's no doubt about it. Even with all the success that I had, some of the things that I made mistakes on was because I didn't know how to deal from a manly perspective when I was young. Because yes, I had a man around me teaching me how to work, teaching me to do certain things, but that was only temporary. There wasn't a man in my house consistently because my father was in prison. So some situations that men act out on, they're not acting in a manly spirit. They're just acting out of emotions. So what they think is tough is not really tough. It's just you tripping. And so once I realized that, and it's just everything about my life slowed down once I started realizing that, you may need to go to counseling. You may need to change up the way you think and don't be apologetic about your feelings and the way you think. Most Black men, we're afraid to say what it is that we think. If you look at the white guys, they say whatever. Look at the top chef, Gordon Ramsay. He says whatever. Yeah. Look at Conor McGregor. He says whatever. Any Black man that say whatever, they tell him be humble. Stop saying that. And I tell Black men to do the opposite. Say whatever the hell you want to say. If you are this thing called a man, there's no lions walking around the jungle saying, please, can I say something? Excuse me, can I say something? You just say it and make people deal with it. Yeah. And that's what I live my life by. Like, if we're going to have a free society, you should be able to say what you want. I should be able to say what I want without being disrespectful and let people examine it. And that's that. And that's what I'm going to do. That's what I hope most people do. Because right now, black men, we're not represented in the right way. The only black men that look strong is the gangsters, the drug dealers, and the killers. Real, regular black men that don't want to go to jail, they make us look inferior to those other men. And that's just not the case.
We the only society and culture that does that to our people. It's unfortunate, but we definitely appreciate the wealth of knowledge. Kwame Brown on the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast. Brother, you are welcome here anytime, man. A phone call away. The floor and the platform is yours. We appreciate the knowledge, man, and always appreciate the love, man. So until next time, salute.
Man, salute both of y'all, man. Thanks for having me, man.